Come to lying in a comfortable position, either with your knees bent and your feet flat, or lying with your legs stretched out. Find whatever pillows you need or props to support you and make you feel as comfortable as possible in this moment. Maybe a pillow or two behind your head. Maybe a towel roll behind your back. Maybe a bolster under the knees. Whatever makes you feel most at ease. And then just take a moment to appreciate how the body feels here in this position, where there are points of contact between you and the surface you're laying on, where there's space. Notice where you feel the breath entering the body and where you feel it exiting, not with judgment or expectation, just observing, just quietly noticing. And seeing if you can start to feel the ground underneath you. And allow the ground to hold you. Allow yourself to give your weight over to the ground. Maybe you can notice the body letting go as you become a little heavier into the ground. Feel the support underneath you. Feel yourself release deeper and deeper into this position, into this held space. Now imagine yourself in one of your favorite places on earth. You don't have to speak it out loud. You can just quietly transport yourself there in your mind and be an observer of the scene. First, notice what you see. What are the colors and the shapes, the objects and the textures? What is taking up the space around you? Observe all of these visual wonders and notice how they make you feel in this moment. Then maybe you start to bring your attention to what you hear in this space. What is the soundtrack of this environment? Maybe there's the gentle rustling of leaves, the rush of water, a subtle breeze. Maybe there's laughter or voices, music. Maybe there are animals, birds chirping. And just again, observe how these sounds make you feel. Now turn your attention to what you might smell. Maybe salt air, or pine, or floral scents if you're outside in nature. Maybe you smell spices or the aromas of cooking meals. Maybe it's a familiar perfume or cologne or laundry detergent of someone you associate with love, safety, and connection. And just again, turn your focus inward on how those smells make you feel. And now maybe you start to notice if there's a taste. Sometimes a sweet or salty taste in the air, or maybe you're having a nice meal in this place. Salty, sweet, savory, sour, bitter. Just noticing. And finally, bring your attention to what you feel. Are you wearing shoes or are you barefoot? Can you feel texture under your feet, like maybe sand or grass between your toes? Or even if you're wearing shoes, can you feel the crunch of pine needles or stones under your feet? Can you feel the temperature in this space? Is it dry? Is it moist? Maybe someone is holding your hand, or maybe the breeze is gently kissing your face or brushing across your arm. Just appreciate the depth of this sensation, all of the different touch sensations in this place, and appreciate how it makes you feel in this moment. Survey the scene in all of its different capacities with all of your senses in this moment. Take all of that in and appreciate how you feel. Transport yourself back to this moment, this environment, lying here on the mat or the ground underneath you, and see if you can embody the same sense of peace and ease as you felt in that visualization, that place of safety, calm, and support. And lying here on the mat, we'll start to take a body scan and notice where we feel tension in the body. Notice if we feel softness. Notice where we feel connection. Starting from the crown of the head, maybe you observe how the hair feels on the scalp. Scanning down into the forehead and behind the eyes, is there anything there that we can let go of, release, and soften? Coming down into the jaw, is it possible to unhinge the jaw and just allow that release to occur? Notice the position of the tongue in the mouth. And are you able to widen and flatten the tongue, almost like a leaf, how it lays and spreads out on the surface of a pond? Notice if that helps you find any more release in the jaw. Bringing your attention to the space between your skull and the back of your neck. Maybe imagine a piece of floss on the top of your head, just gently drawing you upwards, just lifting you into a slightly longer spine, and how that opens the space between the back of the head and the neck here. Just subtle, not forced. Scanning down into the front of the throat, maybe you swallow a couple of times and see if that tension in the front of the throat can start to dissipate and melt and fade. Maybe you take a nice breath here and notice if the breath can come easily into the body, almost like you're drinking the air in the room in versus trying to force it. It's just flowing through you naturally, peacefully, almost like the tide, rolling up onto the shore and then rolling back out to sea. Scanning down into your collarbones and your shoulders, can they lay any heavier into the mat? Can they widen and open? Coming down into the heart space, can you give permission to those ribs to just release and open that heart so that it's able to receive the energy from the room? Imagine the sun shining down on your chest and how your heart can be open to receive that warmth and energy. Coming down into the base of the ribs where it connects to the abdomen, can you feel those muscles letting go, giving permission to the rib cage to expand with your inhales, almost like a balloon inflating in all directions. Notice how the rest of the belly can also expand like this balloon in the ribs. Notice how that expansion can travel all the way down into the bottom of the pelvis where the pelvic floor lives, feeling that balloon inflating in all directions. And then passively just recoiling back to start. There's no activation, there's no tension, there's no muscle energy here. It's just release, let go, be permissive and expansive. Imagine how the breath can massage the organs of the abdomen and the pelvis, maybe bringing special attention to the kidneys and the back body, just at the base of the ribs. Imagine how when you inhale, those kidneys can slide gently down towards the pelvis and then glide slightly out to the side, almost like the J shape, right? And both kidneys are mirroring one another. As you inhale, they slide down and out. And as you exhale, they come back to center, up and in. Just this buoyant, gentle massage. Feeling how the air can now travel into your back body with a little bit more ease. Feeling the pelvic floor blooming open on these inhales. How it's okay to release that protection, that guarding that can happen in our pelvis. We don't need it here. We can let it go. The hips can soften open. Scanning into the thighs, they're heavy and released, almost like puddles into the mat underneath you. The backs of the knees are soft. I like to imagine creeks running through the back of my knees. So all of that tension that we might be holding around the artery, the vein, and the nerves that pass through the back of the knee, they now can run free like rivers, like creeks. Down into the lower legs, again, allowing those creeks to run free through the lower leg, all the way down into the ankle, the foot, and finally the toes. Can you imagine this system of rivers running through the whole body now? The whole body is free and open. There are no dams, there are no impediments, there are no barriers. Everything is soft and relaxed, and those rivers can run free. Now maybe you start to deepen your breath for a final just relaxation here. Inhaling for a count of 4. And exhaling for a count of 6. Not forcing, but just allowing that breath to slow. Maybe you can slow it even more than a count of 4 and a count of 6. If that feels right for you, go ahead and explore that now. Taking 2 more rounds. Imagining those rivers running free. Stay here for as long as you like. And when you're ready, maybe you start to blink open the eyes, wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe you start to circle the ankles and the wrists. If the knees aren't bent already, you gently bend one knee in and then the other. Perhaps you swivel the knees side to side, gently just rocking, releasing the low back. And when you're ready, you can start to press up to a seated position. And I hope the rest of your day you can meet with ease and softness and a little bit more balance.